Okay, back to Havoc Zone.
I'd rather know I'm a villain than remain a wanderer, lost in a world without understanding. To live with no memory of the past. Would it be so different from choosing to end it all? I must find the answer.
What are you?
Only then will I know how to face the memories I still carry.
What are these?
I really am.
I can take care of myself. If it comes to that, I'll still remember the girl who cared enough to worry about me.
No. Oh no, what are you? Oh no, it's the cutest. Oh god, I'm in love. Okay. We got dragons. Oh, I got an achievement. We got dragons. Y'all, dragons. Baby, little tiny dragons. Did I literally just stop the boat to go see and then fight baby dragons? Yes. Do I have regrets? No, except I'm lost now. Boat's over there. Okay. I have a feeling this area is going to be heckin' fun to explore at a different point if we get to come back. Wait, why is it like Carnival? What? Why are there fireworks? Okay, this is weird, but cool. Is it always like this at the Tower of Salvation? Mm-hmm. This is so beautiful, though. Like, the whole setting so far.
I should go back for Cantarella. Will you wait here for us?
Sure. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Of course.
I hope you won't mind the extra trip, Foam.
It doesn't take long for Cardathia to return and the three of you to regroup.
I saw signs of battle along the way. Is anyone injured?
My life is flashing before my eyes.
Well, you seem to be in perfect shape to me. But if you say so, I can offer you a strong elixir. Care to give it a try?
I'm good, thank you.
Oh, I insist. Here, take this.
What are you giving me? An advanced nutrient block. Okay. Mama Cantarella is here to save us. My goodness. My goodness. I love this so much. So... the Tower of Salvation? This is... insane. It just keeps going. What is this? Is this, No, I feel like that's gonna have to do something at some point, right? It's just too cool not to. Look at this. Like, they do such a good job with their set designs, too. Like, just overall. Okay. Sorry, I got distracted because it's just... it's so pretty, you know? This? Is it making stairs? Follow the marker to the next pedestal? Okay. This? Now this? And up here. What a creative set of, like, this level design? How creative is this? Okay. Entering the Door of Unity transports you to a new area and changes the direction. That's what that was downstairs, a Door of Unity. Okay. Where I love that. Oh, what an achievement. Okay, now use the Door of Unity to teleport.
Wind guide me.
Okay. Through. And we're back.
There's no knowing what will happen once Turvin is placed on the pedestal. It's best we prepare ourselves.
Oh, I'm prepared. Let's go.
No longer shall you bear these thorns as a reminder. Forged from primordial seas, this crown shall grant a new identity. Fleur-de-Lis, child of divinity, the Immaculate One, will you uphold the sacred teachings of the Order of the Deep?
I will.
Salvation, unity, ascension. Of these three doctrines, which do you choose?
I choose salvation. I wish to be the Master's blade, striking evil, upholding virtue, and offering salvation to those in peril.
In the name of divinity, I bestow upon you this crown. May the blood of justice never run dry. Through this sacred rite, you become the bridge between the heavens and the living. From this day forward, you shall be the Master's sole receiver and herald. Rise, blessed maiden Fleur-de-Lis. None but the Master shall ever have the right to command you to bend the knee.
Hads, you okay? So we all saw it. Abby? Arrow.
I told ya to stop sticking random stuff in here.
I didn't stick anything anywhere, Abby.
Do you have any idea how messed up and humongous that frequency was? It's gonna give me indigestion.
What frequency, honey?
I should ask you that. What did you do just now, huh?
I stuck a sword in
I
a
was
hole.
dozing when bam! Out of nowhere, a giant blue ball landed on top of me. It almost squished me.
I'm guessing putting Turvin on the pedestal has something to do with it.
Oh, hey! It smells just as unnatural as that big Gigantor back in Jinzhou.
Wait, you mean Jue?
The Sentinel of Jinzhou. If what our little echo friend says is true, then the frequency that entered your tacit mark could be Imperator's powers.
Huh? But the Sentinel isn't even here.
The power to split and manipulate space.
It is reminiscent of the moment of Turvin's creation. Only this time the place of confinement has become your tacit mark.
Why would it do that?
Abby, I love you.
I believe it was meant for the true Maiden. Under the right circumstances, the one to wield this sword and enter the Sonorosphere would be the Sentinel's resonator, the Blessed Maiden. The Sentinel entrusted their power to the resonator so that she could lend assistance when the corruption of the Threnodian altered them. Quite logical, isn't it?
You don't seem too thrilled about it.
If Imperator set this in motion, then their original plan has already failed. Cardathia, that means your guidance holds the key now.
But
I believe in you. Is there anything else you remember?
I just remembered the day I was crowned by the Order. And the moment the dark tide descended upon us.
You saw the coronation?
Huh?
We're gonna tell her.
But I didn't see the dark tide.
That is all I can remember.
Is that what you saw?
You witnessed it as well, Cantarella.
No. I only saw fragmented, blurry images. They seemed to belong to other places within the sonorosphere. I believe this is where we should rest. We'll wait until sunrise.
We can take this time to think about the clues.
I'm gonna hit the sack as well.
Night, Abs.
Boy, it's so cramped in here.
Abby? How do I expand her space? Like, seriously, Cantarella?
Now, what could you possibly want with me at a time like this?
Do you have to say it like... Actually, no, you do. Thank you for saying it like that. About the Phasalia family.
Is it true that the Phasalia family was one of the factions that started the conflict in that stained glass?
The leader of one such faction, to be exact. That was a long time ago. After their defeat, the Union was disbanded under immense pressure, and the Phasalius gradually withdrew from the public eye.
Is this why you had no choice but to publicly change your beliefs?
No. The reasons for the Phasalia family relinquishing their pride and enduring disgrace are far more intricate than that.
What do you mean?
Long ago, Turvin was actually given to the Phasalia family by the first Primus, Napoli II. When the conflict had settled, he arranged a private meeting with the head of the family to reveal the truths behind the pilgrimage. He told the Phasalias that when he traveled through the first dark tide and reached its end, there was no sanctuary.
What?
Only a battlefield filled with darkness and suffering. The heavenly voices he heard were not revelations from the divinity, but the seductive whispers of the Threnodian, casting a lure for puppets to bite. As I told you before, Leviathan is a Threnodian who uses beliefs to spread a spiritual plague. You see, it requires a puppet to carry its voice. The Sentinel realized the Threnodian's plots, and thus the first Dark Tide was launched as a hasty reaping of Raguna and the Sentinel. To save Raguna from the grim fate brought by the Dark Tide, the Sentinel split a portion of their power and entrusted it to Napoli II. This power allowed him to imbue the echoes with the strength to repel the tacit discords and purify the Dark Tide.
And this power was released through the lantern depicted in the stained glass?
Yes. The other part was kept inside Turvin. It was in that very moment, when the Sentinel's power had been weakened, that the Threnodian corrupted and merged with their body, transforming the Sentinel into the form you see today.
If what you're saying is true, the first Primus should have been on Imperator's side. Did the spiritual plague you mentioned affect him?
Although the Primus's body remained whole, his soul was torn apart, caught in the ceaseless struggle between the Threnodian and the Sentinel. Within the body they now shared. The Sentinel's power failed to shield the Primus from the Threnodian's influence. As the two divinities vied for dominance, he succumbed to many misdeeds against his own people. In the end, during that private meeting, he confessed the truth to the head of the Thessalias and begged for release.
Oh god.
So that's why he passed so abruptly.
The Thessalia family was powerless against the Order at that time. Our only recourse was to submit to their cause and keep the secret locked away in our hearts, waiting for the right moment to act.
So, the original, what is his name? Primus, right? He basically, by saving everybody and using the Sentinel's power, ended up succumbing to it all anyways. But everybody else lived, and he had the oh my. So the Thessalia family the whole time has been, oh wow.
Now what could you possibly want with me at a
You were pretty harsh on Cardathia.
Before I learned of those record secrets, I had only seen her from afar, heard tales of her accomplishments. While I would be willing to believe she stands with humanity, the more I allow myself to cling to such thoughts, the more I must strip them away and think rationally. It's only then I can be certain these thoughts are my own, and not the whispers I hear in the dark.
Oh, because of the plague on like your soul kind of thing. Like she is protecting herself from the Threnodian's influence.
Now what could you possibly...
What about the divine trials? Really? Nothing? Nothing? Cantarella.
A trivial experiment. A test designed to find those with the strongest wills and force them into resonating with Turvin. Yet after trying for so long, all we got was the answer, the Maiden is dead.
I don't think she wants to continue this conversation. Better to stop pressing.
Okay. We'll leave now then.
Now what could you possibly... Well, I don't intend to wait around either.
Are you going to search those areas we passed before alone?
The more clues, the better, don't you think?
Yeah, but I'm worried about you.
Oh, and take this.
What is it?
Afraid I've slipped something extra in? Or perhaps you're contemplating dinner with me.
Dinner.
I'm just curious why the matriarch of the Thessalia family packs her own food.
Food is always an easy target for those who find me less than pleasing.
She gave us a homemade panini. My goodness. Where's Cardathia? Girl, where'd you go? Are you out here? No? Oh, there you are. Girl just gave us a panini like it was nothing. I love this.
Is there anything else you'd like to ask? I'll share with you all that I can remember.
I just want to, that way we can see.
I take it you don't
Sorry.
mean that in a good way?
It is a place where sickness, hunger, sorrow, despair, and dullness of heart cease to exist. There, deacons sing eternal hymns.
The first part was, Carthea says, it's paradise. And you don't mean that in a good way. It's a place where sickness, hunger, sorrow, despair, dullness, and heart cease to exist. There, deacons sing an eternal hymn.
From a literal standpoint, this line describes the dark tide perfectly. In the beginning, the dark tide would claim only the areas it touched, assimilating all life as its vanguard to clear the way for its spread. The dead, they would grow mouths and sing hymns, day and night. They didn't need eyes or ears, for their purpose was to spread blindness and madness. Even those who did not believe were drawn irresistibly to the Leviathan's creed, and for those already deceived, it was all but inevitable. When a soul is corrupted to its core, it will sing hymns without end on its sleepless journey to merge with the dark tide. And when every faithful soul has returned to paradise, the land consumed by the dark tide will begin its pilgrimage, drawn by darkened skies, spreading its gospel to wherever it lands next.
This is just really interesting. When a soul is corrupted to its core, it sings hymns without end on its sleepless journey. So as we know, like, everything has a resonance, right? Like the soul, like as far as like this game world is concerned. So we've learned before that like souls that have possibly like an unfinished purpose, stuff like that, like we saw with Rochia, their resonance is still here. And it can cause them to become tacit discords, for instance. So that was actually really interesting. But here you're seeing that when it's corrupted to its core, it merges with the dark tide. And then once every single pure, faithful soul, right, is consumed, then it moves on to the next spot and the next spot, and then you can see how the dark tide would spread. But what's really interesting is the way Cantarella had talked about the soul plague, right? Or like the plague on the soul, the spirit plague, how that is what's happening. That's what the Threnodian does. It weakens you, and it basically creates this very awful thing where you just kind of follow along and walk to your own death. So you can see how these are like literally the same thing. This is just two different ways to talk about the same event.
The final act of the dark tide is the journeying paradise.
Is this the future you saw after coming into contact with the dark tide?
Yes. Is there anything else you'd like to ask? I'll share with you. That was its name before it became a sonorosphere. This seminary, built on an island, was not just a place of learning, but also a sanctuary for raising dragon echoes.
What did they teach?
The Order's scriptures, geography, history, and combat skills.
Shouldn't a seminary focus more on cultural arts?
This was a seminary reserved only for resonators, so naturally, their talents were put to more practical use. Besides, the doctrine of salvation emphasized the importance of combat.
I would just like you to know that she said the most important words that anybody can say. Okay. Hold on. Raising dragon echoes, okay? This is where we raise dragon babies. So I'm just gonna point it out that there's like a 50-50 chance that Kuro at one point is like, here's a baby dragon. It's all yours. I don't actually think that that will happen at any point. But if you're watching and you're Kuro, I just want you to know that I will not say no to said baby dragon if you just want to like give me one. I promise, like, I'll raise it and love it forever and all that other stuff. Like, I just don't think we should.
Is there anything else you'd like to ask?
We should,
I'll share with you all that I can remember.
Cancel it, like, just forget about, like I feel like we should have a discussion as a community about our feelings about baby dragons and having one, okay?
The Sword of Discord, Hogness, and the Sword of Virtue, Haltir. I can't remember anything else about Hogness. But as for Haltier, it was my former blade. How did it end up being one of the swords that can break the seal?
Perhaps we'll know once we find it.
Did she put the seal up without even knowing?
Is there anything else you'd like to ask? I'll share. It's safer this way. You should get some rest. We'll be counting on you again tomorrow.
Okay, so you don't pack sandwiches. Okay, so good to know. Only Cantarella brings paninis. I'm just throwing that out there. I feel like we should just start marking who... Abs? Sweetie?
You mean besides being squashed behind that blue thing? Yeah.
What
yes.
blue thing, Abby?
Listen, I figured something out about that frequency.
Huh?
It's not a single frequency. It's like it's mixed up with something else. Or kinda like a piece of cookie that's been crumbled in with everything else. Which is why it's so hard to get a good bite.
You tried to eat it?
To see if it was a threat. I can now say with certainty that it isn't.
Okay, good.
But since it's a crumbly mess, other than taking up space, it's pretty useless.
We might encounter something similar at the next two pedestals. Keep an eye on this for me, will you?
Will do. You can count on me, 100%.
The night passes in silence. Cantarella is the first to wake and notice the subtle sounds coming from outside. I hate the idea of subtle sounds coming from outside. I'm Cantarella! Yay!
I thought I'd slip away quietly and avoid any fuss. But now, here I am dealing with all of you. Since you're all here, how about a morning stroll?
You should all say thank you that Cantarella was gracious enough for a morning stroll, okay?
They're a lot feistier than before.
Need help? You will obey.
Oh, this will be fun.
Oh, is that just one of her combat lines?
One with the sound.
Is this my... This isn't my Rover. Girl!
None shall whisper.
Well, this is where our paths must part.
You're here for the Sentinel. Why would you leave now?
What I saw yesterday caught my attention. It may be tied to the Sentinel. And besides, I'd rather not spend the day twiddling my thumbs, seeing as your gondola only holds 2.
Are you sure you want to go alone?
Such concern for me. I do hope to see the fruits of your labor when I return. Mind if I take Turvin?
Go ahead. It's no use now that it's out of the pedestal. Its energy is gone.
It may still come in handy.
I'll add you in my terminal. Call me if you need help.
I just might ring you up once things are settled.
Oh, yeah, no, call anytime. Open your terminal, exchange contact information. No, I mean, like, Cantarella wants to go out for, like, dinner, paninis, anything. Call, that's fine. Oh my goodness, materials. So good. These materials. Okay. Now, I don't think I have enough. Oh, wait. For another pull. This is definitely my favorite ever. That might be the greatest, like, trophy achievement a game has ever had. I have just enough for one more. All right. Maybe if I record this pull, this is my lucky one. It would be... It's not. All right. Listen, it's not you. Okay? It's not you, trust me. I appreciate you trying for me. bringing that luck here. It's not, it's just, you know. I appreciate it, though. In we go.
If only I could still fight.
Everyone's doing their part. Don't worry. Nobody's perfect.
Head to the Zargon garden. I love gardens. Okay, that's really cool. In the distance, that tower.
The waterway up ahead is completely blocked.
That garden once housed dragon echoes. Now there's nothing left but tacit discords.
Looks so pretty. Like, this all so pretty. I'm here.
Hogness should be here somewhere. This is where the acolytes used to be tested. Perhaps that Steely over there has instructions on what to do.
You don't remember from your exams?
As the Blessed Maiden, I was exempt.
Trust thy neighbor, else land will stay fallow. Unite the isles, else leaves will stay unbuilt. Brothers and sisters, let the sky, the land, and the seas be united. The path to righteousness is lit by the sacred fire of unity.
Sounds like they're talking about one of the 3 major belief systems, the faith of unity. I don't remember the pieces being spread out like this. Maybe we could find a way to move them.
Let's give it a try. We still need to rebuild the waterway. There's no point in finding Hogness if we can't repair the waterway. At that distance, we should take a wing ray.
I'll have to guide it.
Okay, well, I'm gonna entrust my life to you then, Cardithia. I just wanted to take this all in. It's so pretty. All right, time to go up the thingy and see what happens.